Hello and welcome back. Today in this video, I'm going to look back at a couple of my videos and look at some times where I made a couple of predictions that worked out perfectly. So we're going to take a look back at those videos. So here's the first video from May 10th where I talked about the S&P. Here it is. The first thing that could happen is that we just trade sideways in this area for a little bit. So price tomorrow comes down to here, to this area, goes back up, trade sideways for a little bit. It's going to look, if that played out, it would look a lot like, if we go back, it looks a lot like October from 2018, where we just got in this range and we sat here for a little bit until we got some worse news on interest rates with the Fed, and then things continue to fall. I feel like if that played out here, it would trade sideways, and then we'd get better news about the economy opening back up, less people getting sick, flattening the curve a little more, and then we break out on the inevitable good news. As you can see here, that is pretty much what happened. We came up, traded sideways, and then we broke out. It was the opposite scenario as what happened in October 2018. So called that perfectly. Here's the next video, which pulled us all the way back to right between the 50% level and the 618 level. This area right here is called the golden zone because when price dips down back to this area, there are a lot of buyers that usually buy between the 50% and the 618, and that's what happened here. So here's AMD. I'll put our fib back on. So we talked about the golden zone and how price got bought up every time it came down to this level. This is around the time I made that video. The next day, price exploded on AMD. AMD shot up the entire day, so if you want to take a quick day trade, you could have made huge profits on that day. But even if you didn't get in that, look, you could have just been patient and just waited for this big drop where price came back into our golden zone, and look what happened. Price got bought up so quickly. The price dropped all the way down to 49.16. And then immediately for the rest of the day got bought up and closed at around 52.58 on AMD. So if you were paying attention to my video and heard me talk about how price gets bought up in the golden zone, you could have bought it on the dip and made huge profits. So now stay tuned, because here's another prediction from one of my old videos. If we look at Nike, it traded in this range. It's traded in this tight little range for nearly a month now, and today we had a breakout. Sellers came in when the market dropped and brought us back to our breakout area. So tomorrow we want to see, is the breakout going to hold, which after hours it looks like it is. Is it going to hold? Is this just a retest of the channel support, and are we going to head to higher highs, or is this a false breakout and are we going to come down back in this range? So here is Nike. As you can see, we broke out, retested, and like I said in that video, we went ahead and we broke out and we traded all the way up to 100 before we rejected. This is a trade that I took and it worked out perfectly. Here's another prediction from the past. I want to go to the weekly chart and let's take a look at this down here. This is the MACD indicator. So the way this works is when you get this blue line crossing below this yellow line, that means the momentum is in a downtrend. But when you have the opposite happen and the blue line flips over this yellow line, you typically end up in an uptrend. So if we look back, it worked here. Once we got the crossover, we were in a downtrend. The last crossover was in October 28th. That led to a huge run up. So here's the weekly chart. Here's the MACD bullish crossover. And since that crossover, we've just headed higher and higher. And I believe that's going to continue as we go forward. Now here's what you need to remember when price hits resistance, is that the more times price comes up and hits this resistance, it's almost like you're trying to punch through a wall. The more times you punch a wall, the more damage you're going to make, and eventually you're going to punch through. What price is doing here, it's tested it 3 times like it's hitting a wall. Now it's going to back up one more time, so it's going to retrace further. I think it could come down here or retrace further, and it's going to give one last blow to kind of punch through this wall. So right here is that exact point in time we were looking at. Price fell a tiny bit further, then it came up to this trend line one more time, and it broke through. Retest, and then it's continuing to head higher. So thank you guys so much for watching this. I just want to look back and show you some times where some of the predictions and things I say on this channel came through. If you are impressed, make sure you subscribe. I do updates on the market every other day, and I talk about things that I'm seeing. So subscribe, make sure you like, comment down below if you have anything, any feedback for me, and I will see you guys later. Bye.